First Citizens National Poetry Slam is powered by Boca's Litfest, TTT Limited, and is sponsored by First Citizens. We put you first. Welcome to the First Citizens National Poetry Slam semi-final round number 2. My name is Hans Devines and I'm honored to be your host. Want to say thank you to the sponsors, First Citizens, TTT Limited, and Boca's Lit Fest. We started off with 75, and in our 2 semi-final rounds, guess what? We're going to cut down the numbers and move into the finals, where one of the poets is going to win $50,000, and the top 3 are all going to go home with cash prizes. But before we go any further, let's reiterate the theme this year: poetry is resilience, and meet our judges. Our first judge, artist Marge Blackman. Our next judge is a communication specialist, Denise Deming. Artist and teacher, Ariel John. Comedian, Kwame Weeks. President of the Circle of Poets, Nicholas Sosa. And looking at the scoring criteria this year: voice and articulation, 5 points. Stage presence, 5 points. Dramatic appropriateness, 5 points. Literary devices, 5 points. Use of language, 5 points. Continuity, 5 points. And it is also important to note that poets will be penalized if they exceed their time, with 1 point being deducted for every 10 seconds over. So once again, we want to congratulate all our poets for making it to this point. We know there's no live audience this year, so we're urging you on social media to comment, like, share, and show solidarity for our poets as they grace the stage. You're in control. You are our audience. Let's get into it. Our first poet graced the stage every other year since 2015. Last year, he took a break specifically because of COVID-19 and everything that was happening around him. But guess what? Through it all, he's found strength and resilience. Let's welcome to the First Citizens National Poetry Slam stage, Michael Logie.
This is a cool case. Yeah, he bullface. Every year is a direct slap to the face, but this time she cries the Caribbean Sea. And that is most times her downfall. You see, the dependency on him is just like how he and all is dependent on oil, gas, and coal. He often shows how often his Caribbean friends and foes, even if the times between them are cold, they exist in a dark hole, where the unrequited is simply being quieted. Shh. She has the Wendy Fitzwilliams finish that leaves him Bazo D. The way her legs and thighs are like the sweetest of beaches at the highest of tides, but despite each pigeon point and maracas inside them, there is still raucous and raucous words that work in tandem, like how she tantalizingly twirls and twerks her titties to the tourists and calls that artwork, while he busy at work. But he knows the drill, so he drills, conceited, even if the finances between them are ill or ill-treated, and the bills from each barrel, though they spell US, there's no us, that's for him and his affairs, and he dictates the state of her affairs. And I wonder if her survival is a result of her living on fears, ferry tickets, or a fairy godmother. Why does she even bother when her face is always smothered after she uses makeup to cover the blacks and blues? And the only thing she really needs is the black eye peas and the blue foods to quench and put an end to all of these blue moves. But God knows God knows this quenching comes around once in her blue mood. You see, she gets all the praise and fame when her children are on stage, like when Calypso Rose in the likes of Sherwin Winchester, the great Dwight York, and when he played for Manchester. But the Calypsos, soakers, and 90-minute matches on field will never be enough. So she had to feel every kick, every slap, twisting her face into more emojis than WhatsApp. What's that? 2021 and you want to go and live on your own? Woman, I am in control and the only thing I ain't slap on you yet is a barcode. Shut up, my history sweet like the stalks of sugar cane, and the only thing sweet about yours is the couple packs of sugar cake. Shut up and just know that I resent every statement made in parliament about you becoming independent. What you feel is just so you could let go. What you think my CARICOM friends will think when they see I am no longer in control? Woman, you have to stay home, cook and lay low. That kind of behavior is exactly what a toxic partner. Why you have to behave so? Will these emotional scars go when his actions are like a tambron ball? The way he will use his sugar to sugarcoat his sour undertones is how he became an expert of keeping her voice undertone so he could maintain control. She has grown and grown, and now silence is the only thing that she knows. Is this demand for her? Is the demand for her worth all of these blows and scars? Is that why she's otherwise known as Scarborough? You see, no matter where he go, he will never let her go. He will never let his bae go. And before I go, I just want to ask everybody the question. How long have Trinidad and Tobago been in an abusive relationship? Aren't we not seeing the patterns? Or is it that we just turn in a blind eye and allowing the stupidness to happen? This is a cold case.
I am here with a Mr. Michael Logie. He just came off of the stage and he did his thing. My quick question here to you as a poet, means a deep thinker. When you are alone in your car, what do you think?
Poetry, music. I might be singing some songs, my favorite rap song, etc. Just running that loud music.
Good vibes. People be just trying to get a little bit more in depth to the poets, and that's what we're doing here. So, all the best to you, Mr. Logie. Hopefully you catch you to the finals and you do it loud. Yeah? Don't know. Blessings.
Michael Logie kicking off semi-final round number 2 of the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. Now the next performer, we don't want you to get too confused because his brother was in semi-final round number 1. Please put your hands together at home and show some love for a man stepping into the semi-finals for the second time. Give it up for Terrell Betudier.
Conspiracy theories have always been interesting to me. And over the past few months, we have been presented with quite a few. Some that will have sparked some interest, some that one may argue can only be spread and believed by a fool. However, after I've presented this conspiracy to you, you too would see how true conspiracies can really be. See, I believe there is something in our water. Someone or Wassa has placed something in the nation's water supply, slipping it through very sly, and we sip it and the side effects are present. But oblivious to the drinker's eye, but I stopped drinking water, so I'm not blind. At least not anymore. Because when I saw a nation digesting anesthetics, numbing their humanities and quenching their thirst for credit, discredit victim stories and use it as decoration for newspaper aesthetics, rush to snap a picture of the distress so they could boast to the news friends that they got the best pick, yet I had to rest on my intake of the nation's water. Lock off my supply and quench my thirst with the cries of my neighbor. Felt how good it felt to feel once again. How to grieve and not conceal what I feel, but to be once again. You and see how out of touch with humanity we have become? Or have you been washing your eyes with that water on a morning, numbing your eyelids, so when the wind blows, picking up the dust of those bodies that will have withered to nothing, picking up the dust off of the missing person files and that fly past your eye like nothing. Something had to be in the nation's water supply that numb the lips of ministers that sip water before the lies slides off their lips like nothing. Something had to be in the nation's water supply that when you wash your hands, fingertips become stiff, so the itch to steal from the poor feels like nothing. Something had to be in the nation's water supply that when you shower, you are rinse of your empathy, so you feel to realize that we are just like each other. The nation's water has become a bootleg version of the river of Jordan, where every time you're baptized, you are born again but desensitized. And every time you're baptized, that slaughter water gets inside and you become hell-bent since when hell has become the nation's water supplier. And then we wonder how people who don't even receive a basic resource such as water could give half of what they barely have to their neighbor so they too won't starve. It's because they understand what it feels like to feel and how to be of service. I pray this prayer on my nation. I pray that we become thirsty to behave like humans. And when that time comes and that water fills our pipes, I hope the thirst for humanity is quenched and we no longer have to depend on a hell-bound supplier.
I am here with Terrell people, yeah. But today is a twin. Trust me, it's not a double shot, and I said it before, and I'm saying it again. So you just came off the stage and they did a performance about desensitization. Like where that came from?
Just looking at the events that happen in today's society, I think we have become very desensitized as a nation. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
I feel you. So with that, based on your piece and all these different things, if you could set a rule for the day that everyone has to follow, what would that be?
Probably not based on a piece, but one rule, you'll have to bathe before you come outside. Definitely.
The man about hygiene, people. Wash off your bad vibes. Yeah, so wishing Terrell all the best. Hopefully he make it to the finals and he has a bath before he comes out, and everyone else does too. Blessings.
Hailing from Maloney, Terrell Betutier. Woo! This semi-final round is heating up. Now remember, in the last semi-final round, we actually told you all that this year there's a beautiful mix of people that have been to the finals, former winners, and newcomers. It's now time to meet another one of the first-time entrants. Please show some love at home for RENALDO, BRIGGS.
Hey, but what you crying for? Boy, wipe your eye. I thought you like it when the real Melandros march out and gunshots start to fly. Get low. Hey, get low. Hey, get low. Remember? Oh, you forget some people knees can't bend so fast. So when the shooting starts, that is their last moment. Last moment to see, taste, touch, or feel anything good about this life. No more opportunities to say I love you to the husband or wife. No more chances to kiss the children goodnight, but that's all right. Right? Because for you, the music is just real vibes. So why you teary-eyed when the music start to play itself out in real life, brother? Look how long we tell you Trinidad music creating a culture of murder and all kind of crime. But you don't believe me? You know what? Take my word for it. So we go ask somebody else, like Diana, who had she not cracked back further than I could remember. But you remember when you was dancing in the zest? Singing about putting some crocodile teeth in a man's chest. 6 outside. Now you're vexed when you can't walk the street safe at night. Causing our arguments move from fist fights to lead spraying, praying things get better whilst you're still playing the music that perpetuating the mess. And don't ask me why I'm getting so vexed. Because every day I open my window, I see some little youth men under a tree and they banging their head to the beat of the song like zombies. Them boys looking lifeless. Next thing you know is only candle in the road and I realize to not put another life less, so don't ask me why I'm getting so vexed. Because I hear you scream it from the depths of your soul. Black Lives Matter. 2 days later, you're in a party singing about the next Black life to murder BLM. Don't ask me why I getting so vexed. And don't tell me, boy, Naldo, that just music that don't influence. Cast your mind back to Mr. Killer. Who had you moving from post to pillar up to now? You can't hear pick up something without running. You feel a man can't hear kill him without trying. But brother, sister, don't stress. Because I feel like I come to the end of my ranting address. Yes, in conclusion. If you like the music that glorifies the murder, if it turn out to be your auntie, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, or other, God forbid, wipe your eye. Because you just lost your permission to cry.
I am here with Mr. Renaldo Briggs. First time at the First Citizen National Poetry Slam. So my quick question, where have you been all this time?
Honestly, I've been doing other stuff in theater and drama. You know, I love acting. I love doing theater. I work with a production company called Milwa's Production. So that's what I've been doing with my time. And, you know, I just decided to launch out this time and do poetry. So,
does that have anything to do with $50,000 cash prize?
Honestly, no. And here's why I said no. For me, I just wanted to share this message. I really feel like God placed the message on my heart to share. I was encouraged to go out there and share it, so that's what I came to do.
People, Renaldo Briggs is here for ministry and not money. He's a great man, not me.
Renaldo Briggs making it clear that $50,000 is at stake inside the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. We want to say thank you again to our sponsors, First Citizens, TTT Limited, and Bocas Lit Fest. We're going to welcome another first timer to the stage. So you're on social media. We want you all show all the love, all the likes, all the shares, all the comments. Show your love for Shavana Sharma.
I could not catch my breath today. I don't know why, I just can't say. There is a tightness in my chest that makes me pause just to reflect on what resilience means to me, an iron journey, no epiphany, to fight a battle every day just to stay a step ahead and to get out of your own way to see the light instead. You see, you just don't wake up one day and say, I'm in recovery, so I'm here to slam my pain today in this my kahani. My father died a homeless man in 1989, and he never lived to see the grand in my belly at the time. He used to live in an abandoned shack lower down on our street, and every day he would walk up the road begging for a plate of food to eat. And we used to sit on the culvert just waiting to see him pass with his sack of bottles on his back, this specter from our past. And I would pray to God, oh God, please just let him change. But the bottle was now his family, and my karma already engraved. My sister was his left eye, and I know I was his right. And this was his final legacy, that we were his failing sight. And his addiction made him a beggar, and with no family to show their care, how could he recover when a mother abandoned a son so dear? And I wish I knew then, Dad, what I know today. And I blame myself, Daddy, but denial was your way. And we were all the victims too of indifference and animosity from those who looked down on us because we were nobody. And so resilience became my journey, my addiction to go on pain. And the scars on my back were my pillow talk that could have made me go insane. And as my heart grew fossilized, the better my disguise, a symphony of agony and ode to the civilized. And from you I learned denial, Dad, but then I cut down my tree of shame. And I'm here on national TV with my poetry of pain. So here and now I rip off my mask and I leave my quarantine. Because the chalicer that I sang today prepared me for my vaccine. A vaccine of faith, of love, of change. No withdrawals from chills and pain. Because the home in home was my sweet succor, and my shanty I thus reclaimed. And the blood that was let from the wounds in my back made my spirit soar again. You see, resilience was my journey, but I will never be the same.
I am here with Shavana Sharma, and trust me, Trust me. First time to the first Citizens National Poetry Slam, but she's a veteran. She's a pro. She brought vigor and energy to the microphone, didn't you?
Well, I'm glad that you think so. Happy to hear that.
We will find out if you reach the finals and we'll know. Right? So, so where you been all this time, though?
I am actually a retired school principal. And I hasten to add I retired early.
Well, look at that, people. Yeah? Maybe let's see who she's going to school today in this slam, in this semis. All the best in the finals, yeah? My fellow Trimbigonians, guess what? Guess what? We are about to switch things up. Yeah? Flip it. Now, something you may not know is that we at the First Citizens National Poetry Slam have a national athlete who's part of this competition. Now, currently, she is away in Mexico representing Trinidad and Tobago in an international volleyball tournament. Prior to her departure, we had a supervised recording of her performance. Just like everyone else, she had one chance, one take, one shot at $50,000. Without further ado, I would like to present to you Amaris, Norway.
Music, beat, rhythm, acoustic, videos, media, lyrics. See, as a poet, I'm commanded to be platonic about each topic, but music, once a medium used to put you in moods most nostalgic, has turned diabolic lyrics now most hypnotic, possessing young minds. See, it's borderline demonic, but I'll stop it, because you see, I'd be platonic. How to present some evidence in order to convict, so I'd like to begin with some lyrics. Gunman in she-hole is what my little sister mimics. I know she's not being metaphoric, singing words that are almost cynic. Hearing this, my mother panics at the thought of gunman performing a hat trick inside her 12-year-old daughter. She shudders to think, and I wonder, why is it so shocking? How is it so frightening that the music youth are internalizing are later manifesting 9 months later, crying and wailing, glorifying the bad girl lifestyle? Kelly Rowland's motivation, riddled with sexual connotations, rife with vivid descriptions of her intentions just to feel a man's hands all over me, baby. Like a typical Shensia tune, blasting from a teenage girl's room, strangle me and tie me up, na fight no girl over, no man me na idiot, the producer of an original side chick song. This side chick is an inspiration, her words are sung with admiration as she extends the impartation of the notion that a young woman's sole purpose for creation is sexual pleasure. That it's okay to be a side chick, okay to bear that label, okay to be unfaithful, and researchers wonder why the divorce rate grows. The answer is so simple. Let's consider Rebel 6. When real Melandros march out, rifle shot, none a talk out. Every youth man wants to be a Melandro, and as they chant, our crime rate grows. Must be a coincidence, though not that taking lives and stealing souls translates to you being a real mad dog. A real bad man. To the youth of Trinidad and Tobago, please know, dear listener, the basic fact of the impact of music on human mind. Please know, dear listener, that it has been scientifically proven that music affects behavior, mood, and emotion, and rap songs about murder is a young man's morning devotion. This generation feeds itself off of gunman education. I said songs of bloodshed receive standing ovation, yet this civilization is still under the impression that there is no internalization of the songs we so proudly chant. Please know, dear listener, that we are sadly mistaken. Please know that the rapid spread of depression among youth is not just by chance. Not when XX Tentacion says suicide if you ever trying to let go. Not when Juice WRLD says drugs and nicotine is the way to go. Not when Marshmello sings of finding peace in violence. I believe what you put in is what you will dispense. Can't make a withdrawal unless you invest. Can't internalize depression and expect anything less. Can't be singing songs like I'm dead inside and don't expect to be lifeless. Music is powerful. Holds the keys to personality, defines your identity, and who does one expect to be when Cardi B is your role model? Honestly, every song carries a message preaching through the tune, and every artist is a minister. Be careful what is administered to you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Amaris Norway. Yeah? Bad in a real life, bad in a volleyball, bad in a poetry. And we just heard the level of influence music has on the minds of young ones. So my question is this. How much influence does Amaris have on the judges for her chance to win the first Citizens National Poetry Slam? We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the First Citizens National Poetry Slam semi-final round number 2. We've seen poets grace the stage thus far and really bring the fire. Now there's more to grace the stage. Right now, we bring on a competitor from Tobago. This is her second time as a semi-finalist. Please show some love for Amy Yates.
Born as a blank canvas, every comment and reaction to my adapted depiction was like a brushstroke. Some were applied with soft water paint, while others with half-dried acrylic so aggressively that the brush almost broke. I was a pretty little picture hung by a knotted noose upon a narcissistic wall, repainted many times over rather than broadening the spectrum. Perhaps my frame of mind was just too small. And with each new tone taken, with every new paint layer made, I could feel my own self-image slowly begin to fade. And every man-jack pretending to be Picasso thought that he was doing me a favor, but they were weighing me down by brushing on another and another and another paint layer. My own picture painted was an image of my true higher self in colors of love unconditional. But from the second a midwife holds up a blank canvas begins the process of painting an individual. Your name is Brush. Your race is brush. We paint the brush colors of your religion. Give me your brush, free will and brush. In my image I brush your every subconscious decision. And I remember when the last layer thickened and only the surface seemed to be dry. Oh, to be underneath so many layers that I couldn't even cry. And no matter from what angle they looked upon me, I would never satisfy. For an image of people's projected void, there will never be enough supply. So one day, I stood under the shower and I cried away all the colors brushed into my head. I brushed and I brushed and I brushed and I brushed until the milky darkness down the shower drain turned to paint shades of red. And as all of their images were washed away, they asked, "Where is your identity?" But as my canvas went blank, my creator I thanked for finally freeing me. So I stand here today as a blank canvas once again, healing in no rush, to say that we create our collective self-image. So learn to control your brush.
So I am here with Amy Yates, coming out of Tobago, the sister island. All her, we just spread this thing back and forth. Yeah, we big like that. So Amy, I want people just to know you a bit, right? We heard your piece, we heard your metaphor about the canvas and the brush strokes. But what I would like to ask you is, you know what I mean, because pizza can be considered a canvas, right? Do you believe that pineapple belongs on pizza?
I am very happy that you've entrusted me with answering this very important question. Pineapple does belong on pizza.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Amy for Prime Minister, President, and the CSO, CMO, CFO, CEO, all the CEO and the O's. Big up you.
Amy Yates showing poetry is resilience. This year's theme inside the First Citizens National Poetry Slam, brought you courtesy First Citizens, Bocas Lit Fest, and TTT Limited. As I said earlier, it's a fantastic mix this year of newcomers and veterans. Now we meet another newcomer hailing from Marabella. Put your hands together at home. Yes, I can see you through the TV or the computer screen or through your phone. Put your hands together for Tevin Douglas.
It's not the theory of general relativity. It's two scalpels out in the medical field. One that's old and used and is sick at the sight of blood. The next one, fresh out the box, pristine and clean and ready to slice just nice. But when push comes to shove, choose the first one. At least you know it's more reliable. However, be careful when you do your job. Because as much as you are reliable, all these people look right through you. When they ball out, oh, you're too wicked, when you're just trying to do your job. When they complain about the rising prices and you're just trying to scan their items. When they forget that they forgot to use the free indicator and cuss you for crossing through a crosswalk. Just breathe. When all these people leave their unwanted grocery items in the wrong section of the grocery, breathe. When they look right through you, breathe. When it's pouring and a flood is imminent, and you've been working 20-hour shifts for the past 5 days because you heard that a new wave is coming. When your hospital scrubs and your company coats can't keep you warm and you would rather be in a straitjacket from St. Anne's, breathe. All these people will look right through you. All you underpaid nurses, all you janitors, all you police officers and cashiers, you all are fighting a war that you don't need to be in. You all are preventing the ICUs to turn into RIPs. You all are fighting. You're tired, but you're fighting. You're losing, but you're still fighting. Just remember, always keep a smile on your face. You're representing the company. But we know you all can't keep a smile on your face. Remember, always look lively. You're representing the government. But you can't be lively when you're only sleeping for 5 hours and running on 3 cups of coffee. It's not possible. But take it from me. Just remember, every time that someone tells you to look lively, every time they look through you, just remember that you're still breathing, you're still here, and you're still human.
So I'm here with Tevin Douglas, our youngest contestant. How old are you, Tevin?
16.
Not with that voice. I don't believe you. So you did a piece on essential workers. Like, where pull that from? What made you want to do that?
Well, I have some family and some friends who family are essential workers. And I just realized that they're very underappreciated for the duration of this past year and a half or so. So decided to big them up a little bit.
Big them up. And I mean, if you're able to win $50,000, you can big them up even greater, yeah?
Yeah.
So people, you heard it here. This man is vying for 50,000 at the tender age of 16. All the best to Tevin Douglas in the First Citizens National Poetry Slam.
First timer, Tevin Douglas with a real message. Listen, this semi-final round is just getting better, poet after poet. Our next poet is known for his hard-hitting poetry. He's been to the semi-finals twice and to the finals once in 2019. He's ready to bring the action once again and his word. Please put your hands together at home for Abdul Majid Abdal.
Come, cover me, recovery, though I am not naked yet. I have not fallen to the phase of fame, nor will I forget how easily a target is formed from the culture one comes from. The prayer marks on my forehead is a headshot of fear for you to take down. For things that raise the finger in question, lift mine in prostration. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, they live in fear of man and write their faith by his hand and ask me how to believe in such a ghastly image of God. My concept is clear. You have yours and mine is left to the side untouched and fermenting. The fabric never fails to improve with the stains. It's strange. The same script encrypts the flip but miss meaning. But can it with the label that lets it live. Ayyuhalladhina amanu, hayya alal falah, hayya alal falah. Translation. Answer the call. Muslim, barefoot, broad back, breadfoot fall. Victim, knock knees melt to the floor. They knock me, I meant to kneel before the three. The landlords, evict him. The hands of God, eclipse him. Out his lights in the name of the sun, the folklore. Resist him because he spoke off of the system. No one assists him, so it's insistent he sit in the court and answer the call of a courtroom hammer. Order, order, Fox News event planner. Eventually, judges in every corner of the earth, no jury. Just these zombies playing jumping jacks on your back until Jack's crown is broken. Imagine being born broke, black, and Muslim. Like Jamaat translates terror. Like you born a marksman. Like by 12 you done a mask and bomb in mass, and you're the youth man in class who they always ask if your father is Abu Bakr, or if you'll explode when you exclaim Allahu Akbar, or when your last name can't border plane or cross borders because you don't qualify for visa. These are the things that squeeze a Muslim man into a thin margin, a menace. Imagine. Your birthright is to hide your identity. Like a prayer mat wrapped under your underwear, on the side of your underarm or toothpaste, inside your suitcase. Am I so hard to understand? Somewhere in becoming a translator, I've become a damn slave to compromise, trying to get you to understand that you could never truly understand my religion from where you stand, out of sight and out of mind. However, I'm overgiving any F's of what many might think of me, as if words like fear goes further than the complexion. As if words like forgive really means turning the other cheek to take slap twice. As if words ever fell on fighting ears to influence a forfeit. As if words like forget could fake a F you to that fufu talk. Because when your sister's hijab is dragged off in France, there's not a thing. There's not a thing you could do but forfeit your fighting. Forget it and forgive them, and that's fear. Yet you fear me. But we know where your real fear comes from. It's from our constancy and unstoppable steadfastness because of our belief that he knows why we know is running right now. He knows the flow of the sea, the crescent sea in the sky, and crescendo concept of the breeze could never have the will to be. Still, few to many disbelieve in this kun, fayakun, to be, and it is. This is the core of our belief that no hill is too big, no howling wolf or shouting monk could show down, no one up, the one up. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, kutiba alaykumul qital. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Translation: you have nothing to fear. Relax. It's just a call to pray.
We are back, and now joining me is Abdul Majid Abdal Karim. Yeah? Many names, but as much names, as much skill as he has to push behind the microphone. They say you're raw behind that microphone.
Well, I see that some days out in the field, so come to eat.
People, this lion, this come the jungle, is here to eat. Would he eat up the competition? Would he make it to the finals? Keep it locked to the First Citizens National Poetry Slam, and we'll find out.
Abdul Majid Abdal Karim did not disappoint, and you all know you all can get in contact with the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. Just contact via the website, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We're going to keep it moving for a third-time semi-finalist. Please show some love for Shakir Gray.
Excuse the panting, I've been bobbing and weaving, ducking and diving, I've been slipping his jabs and watching the timing winding. Up the uppercut plus a body shot, well placed, well timed, blow to deliver. His telegraphed hooks are slow to deliver. My fast twitch means he's slow on the trigger. I jab, then move, no time to linger. But while I, floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee, he, hovering like a dragonfly and joking like a jet. Yes, he's been ducking and diving, bobbing and weaving. He's been playing the long game, throwing out jabs to find his range. This is a war of attrition. He's wearing me down, round by round. He has no rhythm. Even though my right was heat-seeking, he just keep eating blow after blow. Each treatment in sequence, he'd eat them and grow, then gloat. My opponent is malignant. As treatment, I feed him a steady diet of overhand rights. But over time, he caught on to the rhythm. And boom, on a half beat, I hit a straight right. Lost straight sight and the pace change. The atmosphere in the place change, his face change. As he saw me fall, a sinister smirk crawl across his lips. My fast twitch meant nothing to this methodical monster. My opponent is a plague. Yet still the crowd roars. They delight in this blood sport. The atmosphere is electric because nobody expects it. Every man jack on their feet. Except me. I survive the count, then retreat. Go back to my corner feeling defeated. My corner, man is chemo. My corner is therapy. He's telling me what needs to be done. It's not fun. He's irradiating me. Stating the facts, he said deal with him. Surgically. By round 5, he had metastasized. I saw enmity in his eyes and venom in his mouth. If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. Now I'm nauseous. Lungs burning, difficulty breathing, I'm heaving. Hair falling out in chunks. This chump is grinding me down to sinew. This fight demands everything that's in you. Like Duran to Sugar Ray, I wanted to say no mass. No mass. Not a mass, a lump, a chunk of immortal cells. If by now you can't tell, my opponent is a mutation. A variation of my sane cells. This pain tells me he's spreading. My opponent is a tumor. A tribe of revelrous cells, like humor, a plague, a mutation, a plight, a blight, a crippling disease. Me, fighting me from inside. And so I fight. Lead with the left hand, throw a right. Beads of sweat fly like a fine mist as a right hook makes his head whip. And then the stand switch, just in time to slip an arching uppercut. Duck low under a sweeping blow, then launch a leaping left hook that leave him licking the canvas. Go back to my corner, watch him searching for answers. After that blow, he get up ready to atone and found home for his hungry right hand. He see me waning. He found his way in to capitalize, but I see the look in his eyes and the telltale twitch, so I slipped the right hand into my 3-piece with fries and a drink. The boss didn't even have time to blink. I couldn't tell you how the boss feel, but I know that was a boss, meal, raw, steel, iron Mike kind of fight. He throw, I cut angles and turn and return. I throw, he ducks low and delivers an arching blow. This is a show, a real rumble in the jungle, a thriller in a manila envelope with my name and a diagnosis. The prognosis, my opponent is in remission.
Shakir Gray is his name, and Gray is actually one of my favorite colors, so I'm real happy to have you here, bro.
Thanks.
I just burped. Sorry there. We're gonna again. Bam. Shakir Gray is his name, and Gray is actually one of my favorite colors. Brethren, it's a pleasure to have you here. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, thanks to be.
So, we go again, small thing. Shakir Gray is his name, and Gray is actually one of my favorite colors. So, brethren, how you feeling to be here?
I'm feeling good.
Nice, nice. So, we fighting for $50,000 cash. His piece was about that. That pun was intended. So, here's my questions here. You sharing?
Of course.
I do not believe him. That was not believable. Shakir is a greedy man.
Shakir Gray. It's now time to get into our final competitor inside semi-final round number 2. If you're viewing this online, let us know who do you see in the finals in the comments. Our next performer, the final one for this round, won in 2016 and has been to the finals 5 times. Show some love for Seth Sylvester.
My job is to make you feel nice. Whether you're under the weather or not, I gonna make you feel right. I'm here to keep you company. You could be headed to Port of Spain from Fifth Company. You could call and talk to me. I will respond to you. Tell me about your life, ask for advice. I will tell you what to do. If you have a request, NP, I will grant it. Won't take you for granted like the MP in Grand Lee Line 1 High. Good day, caller. What's your name? Where you from? Big up your crew. Yeah. Request your song. Rebel 6, Rifle War. I just played that a while ago now. But sure, the job requires me doing the same thing twice. No stress. Speaking of reoccurrences, the news is up next. Yet another Trinidad artist has fallen victim to gun violence. Brad Bailey, who was described by his mother as non-violent, was famous for the song Born Bad. He was found dead in a worse manner, hours after he was seen on cell phone video calling out another gang. Officers say that all evidence suggests that reprisal rang. Here's the part of my job where I say something has to be done. Peace has to be the solution in the end because the answer can't be gone. Comments encouraging love and harmony. Then I play a song talking about the biggest gun in the armory. Yeah, I know I stand in juxtapose next to something I just oppose. Like I don't see the whole picture, only just oppose. But I just play the tracks. It's not like I paved the path for it. It's not like I love the artists and the art in it. And the part of it when the part the lips where art exists and art exits. But I play the tune and put my whole heart in it. No half-heartedness. Must have heart for this. Put my limbs, legs, head, and my arm in it. Pretend my arm is ammunition and an arm in it. See no harm in it. I no haram in this. You know this is my bread and butter, so I jam in it. And they love to sing songs about how to rise the matic. Then circle the block. Until our boys square up in their circumference and they succumb to shots. They always singing, they know life and death is in the power of the tongue, so they will get their days numbered. I see one artist singing 6 outside until he end up 6 feet under. I hear how they express themselves, so when I read newspapers, I don't wonder. But I have to play the gunman song for you to move your body and feet. Then read the news when the gunman embody the same song lyrics in your streets. But it has always been like this though, so don't bother. Only black people make music about killing out each other. And my job allows me to speak on any topic and draw an inference. But when it comes to music's negative influence, I ain't fluent. I just do what you ask of me. Compromise my conscience for my salary. At this point, I'm not even conscious of my sanity. Because I feel as though I walk when I make this analysis, but I can't speak up or take action like I have sleep paralysis. My job should not only be about speaking out, but leading by example. Cook up a pot of positivity and you come into me for samples. My job should never run out of constructive music. I should have ample. My job is to make you feel nice. Whether you're under the weather or not, I gonna make you feel right. Let's jump back into the music though. Let's talk. This one coming down from Rebel 6, Rifle War. SLR, full your head like napkin.
I am here with the 2016 champion, Seth Sylvester. I remember vividly like yesterday. Seth performed and poured his heart out for Deja Rambajan on a stage in front of thousands of people. And she's now married. How does that make you feel, Seth?
That has nothing to do with me. So I good.
That is a very, very heartbroken answer. We are about to tend to Seth's wounds.
SETH Sylvester bringing the First Citizens National Poetry Slam semi-final round number 2 to an end. Remember, one poet is going to win $50,000 courtesy our title sponsor, First Citizens. We also want to say thank you to our other sponsors, Bocas Lit Fest and TTT Limited. Remember, the theme this year, poetry is resilience. My name is Hans Devines. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to find out who's making it into the finals, we urge you to stay tuned to these social media pages. Can't wait to see you in the finals of the First Citizens National Poetry Slam.
First Citizens National Poetry Slam is powered by Bocas Lit Fest, TTT Limited, and is sponsored by First Citizens. We put you first.